So let's talk for a minute about some of the challenges facing current exercises. Based on feedback from the private sector, one of the challenges is current exercises often merge all types of users into a single meeting. All of them have different knowledge level and experience. Some may not be familiar with the terminology. Some are brand new. They're appointed officials. And especially when you're dealing with public and private sector joint exercises, you've got a whole series of acronyms and words and use cases that they just don't understand. The problem is that it reduces the overall user experience. Many times people come once and they never come back. And it really reduces the operational effectiveness of the exercise. The whole point of the exercise is to train people in processes that they can use next week. Or we use the exercise to develop gaps, which can quickly lead to developing new products, meaning a faster process, a set of data, a website people weren't aware of. So exercises in the private sector many times lead to the new solutions. But the challenge is when you mix various users, you've got different types of problems. So by putting all of these users, the beginners, the intermediate, and the advanced level users, into the same room, you have to try to combine basic information with simple injects and advanced injects in order to get something done operationally. Well, the beginners, as you can tell, are new, especially in the world of the SICE and public-private planning. They're new to the consortium, they're new to SICE, they're new to CATEX, they don't understand the operational issues, the terms, the concepts, the solutions used by the private sector to expedite information flow and fix some of the problems. They're not familiar with this at all. This is their first date, if you will, with it. The intermediate users have a basic understanding of the consortium, SICE and CATEX, and have some knowledge of terms and concepts and solutions, and so they want to run a little faster than brand new users. And of course, advanced users are very familiar with the terms, the concepts, and so forth. They want to get on with it so they can contribute to the SICE framework in a meaningful and positive way. What did the private sector change with CATEX? CATEX uses a tiered approach. The problem is knowledge and experiences level vary. Every time we do a CATEX exercise, we have people that are brand new to the consortium, the SICE, integrated planning, working with states, working with multiple sectors. It's a constant problem every year we do this. So what's the solution? Well, the private sector decided to create a tiered exercise approach. This would engage and educate various users along the way so that everyone, by the time they got to one of the higher tiers, everyone was educated in the terminology, the processes, the people, all that stuff that has to go on for something to be operationally effective. So now, using the tiered approach, beginners are entered into a basic information exercise. Under CATEX now, the beginning phase, if you will, educates new users on the why and the how to use SICE during both blue sky and black sky days. It shows users how to access the SICE, the CATEX app, and test their ability to access the #1 app that we use during disasters daily. And of course, during the disaster itself is the daily disaster dashboard app. And then at the end of that simple self-guided exercise, we create user feedback. So beginners can log in, participate anytime they want, 24/7, and it's at their own pace. They can stop halfway through it. It'll remind them and bring them back in. It's a very, very sophisticated process, and it's automated 24/7. They can play on a mobile device. They can play from their desktop. It really doesn't matter. After they've completed the beginning side, then they become an intermediate user. The level 2 injects and so forth test their ability to access certain disaster management apps that have been developed for specific purposes, and then gather their feedback. And once they've completed Tier 2, then they move to the advanced level, which is Tier 3. Tier 3 tests the use of multiple apps, their understanding of the operational readiness level, or ORL standard. It engages them in higher level operational discussions and identify issues and create solutions. We also will design tabletop exercises for people at the advanced level. But the beautiful part of this tiered approach is it doesn't mix beginners, intermediate, and advanced users. It separates them. So by the time you get to a tabletop, everyone in the room is in the room because they've been through the beginner and intermediate level exercise courses. So the big picture, to help overcome this, we created a tiered solution for CATEX. So CATEX starts and builds. The beginners get an introduction. They get read-ahead information, which provides real-world scenarios, and it tests their ability to log in and test the CATEX app as well as the daily disaster dashboard. So by the time beginners are done, they've been educated, they've been able to access the SICE and the CATEX app, and they've actually been able to get to the very first prominent application, which is the daily dashboard. Then they move to the intermediate phase. Tier 2 drills will provide them with new scenarios, but allow them to test a number of different disaster management apps that have been developed for weather or transportation or accessing state declarations and waivers and so forth. Once the intermediate course is completed, then they move on to the expert exercise. That's different injects, a higher level of drills and modules, and it allows for tabletop exercises. So the beautiful part of CATEX is it now builds and it takes everyone through a simple indoctrination process where they can onboard, and they benefit in two ways. One, they learn how to use the SICE and the tools within it. They learn about the operational readiness level standard, and they understand what the reliability rating is for the tools they're going to use. And they get to use many of the disaster apps. So when a disaster strikes, they're trained exactly on how to go, how to access the information, and make decisions faster.